Hello everyone, welcome to the program. This is Sunday Politics live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimaloe here in Abuja tonight. The criticisms of the Tinubu's administration, especially from Governor Bala Mohammed, were placed and justified. Some of those things he has voiced. Is he speaking as a Nigerian, as an opposition leader, or what? What are the real focus of the government of the day on foreign relations? Well, we understand that President Tinubu is off to Tanzania for an energy summit. But this is our major conversation tonight. We're looking at the foreign relations, the criticism of Bala Mohammed, the policies of this government. What exactly do you think as a citizen? But also, I'll take some few minutes on this program to dissect the legal angles and the issues relating to the Lagos State Assembly impeachment saga. Just yesterday, perhaps for the first time in the public, the impeached Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly made an appearance to the cheers of supporters in Lagos. Mr. Mudashiru Obasa has faulted his removal by lawmakers. He says that his removal for the first time is unlawful and insists that it was important for the lawmakers to follow the constitutional procedure to remove him as Speaker. The former speaker also denied the allegations of corruption brought against him by the lawmakers during his removal, describing the alleged financial misappropriations as impossible. Mr. Obasa insists he remained the speaker. Take a listen to him.
To remove, you must follow the due process, as I have said. We have rules, we have constitution. When you want to remove, you must do what? Follow the. At the same time, that man that said Obasa took part in the removal of Honorable Abdulwahid Pelumi, Honorable Fumi Tejosho, and those people that were suspended. And I've said it, let me repeat it. Honorable Pelumi, right? Honorable Pelumi is my brother, is my friend. I fondly call him Boda Wahidi till tomorrow. When he was removed, he was on the floor of the house. Probably he was presiding. When Tejosho was removed, she was in the house. And those who were suspended, they were around. And there was no involvement of police. And the house, the chamber was not broken into, and fake mace was not brought to the house. I'm not afraid of being removed. Me, I'm not disturbed, but let them follow the true procedure. Having ambition to become a governor is not a sin, is it? However, I've said it on the floor of the house when the budget was presented that I had no thoughts of governorship, but that does not mean what? That I'm not qualified or I lack experience.
All right. He touched on very sensitive issues there, which of course are also very much part of the either the politics, the legal issues, and also all of the intrigues. But the Lagos Assembly has responded to Honorable Obasa's claims. The Assembly says that the action of the former Speaker was capable of causing tension in the state. In a statement signed by a lawmaker, Honorable Ogundepe Olukade, the Assembly says over 2/3 of its members supported the decision to impeach him and elect Miranda. The statement read in part, quote, "It is imperative to clarify that over 2/3 of the members of the Lagos State House of Assembly are solidly united behind the new Speaker, Right Honorable Mojisola Lasbat Miranda. Therefore, we stood by the decision taken on the 13th of January, where Right Honorable Mudashiru Ajayi Obasa was impeached, and we should defend our positions to the latter. As elected representative of the people of Lagos, we owe them good governance and harmonious relationship with other arms of government. The position of the House remains the same and nothing has changed. The position being canvassed by former Speaker Right Honorable Obasa is uncalled for and unparliamentary. The majority of members elected Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa as Speaker for the 10th Assembly, and we also, at the third plenary, took majority decision to remove him and stand by the new speaker. So nothing has changed. But when Honorable Obasa comes to the public and said, I remain the Speaker of the Lagos Assembly, it has a legal implication, doesn't it? Well, legally speaking, were the lawmakers justified to remove Mr. Obasa? On what grounds can they remove him? And now, how many of them can carry out that removal? Let's get some legal insight into this, just for a few minutes, because that major issue cannot be swept under the carpet without us treating it right here on Sunday Politics. So I'm being joined by a lawyer and political analyst, Mr. Liborous Oshoma, who joins us live from our Lagos studio. Thank you so much, Mr. Oshoma, for joining us tonight. Let's establish the facts in this matter. First and foremost, there are 40 assembly constituencies or state constituencies represented in this Lagos State House of Assembly, representing the 20 LGA and 37 LCDAs in Lagos. Well, out of the 40 constituencies, they are being represented by 40 lawmakers, meaning that there are 40 seats in the Lagos State House of Assembly. But when Honorable Obasa says, and I probably will show our viewers this interesting mathematics. According to the law, of course, I brought it right here tonight because our conversation is majorly legal. Because when he says he remains the speaker, and on what grounds is he saying that? Is he wrongly removed, or what exactly is going on? Or is this all politics? There are 40 seats. The law says two-thirds. Two-thirds is 26. We understand about minimum of 35 people removed him from office. Mr. Oshoma, give us an understanding. Was or were the lawmakers right to have removed him? Were they justified, legally speaking, in the eye of the law?
Yeah, Shehu, thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Happy New Year. You see, when I listened to Obasa, the man they said is a lawyer. I know he's a lawyer. I expected, when you say there are constitutional provisions, I expected him to cite the constitutional provisions that were breached. But I didn't hear him cite any. He said there are constitution, there are laws. Like you said, there are 40 members. And what the law required, I will get to that law now, is two-thirds. And Section 92 of the 1999 Constitution, as amended, actually established the office of the Speaker of the State House of Assembly. And that section also spells out how the Speaker shall be removed from office. And please permit me quickly, because of time, to read. Section 92, subsection 1 says, there shall be a Speaker and a Deputy Speaker of the House of Assembly, who shall be elected by the members of the House from amongst themselves. Subsection 2 says, the Speaker or Deputy Speaker of the House of Assembly shall vacate his office if he ceases to be a member of the House of Assembly, otherwise than by reason of the dissolution of the House. B, when the House first sits after the dissolution of the House. Or C, which is the important one here, if he is removed from office by a resolution of the House of Assembly by the votes of not less than two-thirds majority of the members of the House. That is all that the Constitution requires. They don't need to have any reason. In the first place, there was no reason to elect a speaker. They, amongst themselves, by virtue of Section 92, subsection 1, elect one among themselves who shall be first among equals. By reason of Section 92, subsection 2, paragraph C, if they deem fit by resolution of the House, supported by two-thirds members, to remove the said speaker, they don't have to give anybody any reason. And if you look at the motion that was tabled on the House that day, I have also taken time to dig into this. There was nowhere impeachment was used by either the letter, the honorable member who moved the motion, and the one that supported the motion. So, when you talk about 40 members and the two-thirds of 40 members is, I think, about 26 or so. And so if you have 35, between 35 and 37, that's more than two-thirds. And so when 35 members, let's assume 35 members, because Ireland is 37. When you have 35 members of a State House of Assembly out of 40, by a resolution voting to remove a speaker, whether it is a mess that had not been used. The fact that there is a maze, the sergeant at arm brought the maze into the house, and it's immaterial. The reasons are immaterial. So really, I think politicians should learn to know that, office is transient. Power is transient. It will come and it will go someday. Also, another thing that legally we should avert our mind to, you don't have to be present. You must not be in the house to be removed. You can be there, you might not be there. I also want to also believe that as an astute politician, that the former speaker probably got wind of the fact that this was coming, and so he stylishly excused himself from the house and then now turned around to say he wasn't around and that he ought to be around. There is nowhere in either the constitution which supersedes even their rule that states that you must be around to be removed. And so if you look at all of the gamut of the law, either case law, either statute, there is nowhere that states that the speaker, there must be a reason to remove a speaker. I have not heard any. And the former speaker also didn't cite any constitutional provision. So as it stands today, legally speaking, the former speaker ceased, to hold office as Speaker of Lagos State House of Assembly. And he's still a member of the House of Assembly.
Let's get it clear. So you're saying, from your experience and knowledge of law, everything that was necessary to remove Obasa was done. The number of lawmakers necessary to move the motion were present. The constitution of the House in terms of quorum was achieved, and the numbers that were needed to remove him was achieved. The law also, because when we discussed this, when we had this conversation, I wasn't very sure about whether there was a reason. The law gives a reason for you to remove a Speaker of the House, either as a Senate or House of Reps or even as a House of Assembly. But eventually, in my research, I discover that maybe you do. The lawmakers do not need any reason to remove one of their own as a presiding officer, which you have established tonight. Now, in all of this, it does look to me that it might be political. The man was not there. He said he shut out his colleagues or his supporters. The other allegation was that there were allegations against him. He made that claim, and they did not substantiate those allegations on the basis of fair hearing, which is very fundamental to law. Can you remove someone whom you have alleged on the basis of the allegation? You remove him without allowing him to defend himself. Is it fair?
The issue of fair hearing, it will come up when he's being tried for a criminal offense. The criminal allegations levied against him are not, issues that the House can ordinarily investigate. They can look into it. When a committee is set up to look into that matter, then certainly the House will invite him to hear his side of the story. Unlike the impeachment of a governor or a deputy governor, as spelled out in section 188, where a resolution, a committee is set up, and then the defense of the governor or the deputy governor is also received by the House. But in this case, the Constitution in section 92 says that the House, by a resolution, he didn't say that when there's allegation of misconduct against him. Allegations of misconduct can be, he's still a member of the House. It can be investigated independently. Secondly, also, the Supreme Court only stated that the business of the House must be conducted in the place meant for the conduct of the business. Had it been this, sitting took place outside the chambers, then you can say that the business of the assembly was not conducted in the place statutorily meant for for the assembly to sit. But in this case, the business took place in the hallowed chambers of the Lagos State House of Assembly. The issue, allegations of misconduct, can be investigated by security operatives, can be investigated even by a committee set up by the House. But basically, what I'm concerned about is these provisions of section 92. It did not state that there shall be a reason. By resolution, they can appoint one of theirs one among them to be speaker, by that same resolution, they can decide to remove that same person. And once that happens, that is the position of our laws. And once that happens, that speaker stands removed. And so the next issue of fair hearing, we'll now begin to discuss fair hearing. Yes, in this case, it is good to give him fair hearing when there are allegations of financial impropriety. A committee for that purpose will be set up by the House, better by their ethics and privileges committee to look into it, or by the security, committee, by the EFCC or by the police. We've seen former members and former speakers removed, and they're invited to the EFCC. But like I said, he's still a member of the House, but on the position of speakership, it is not a personal estate that the speaker can decide to say, yes, I remain a speaker at my beck and call. No, there are laws, like he rightly stated, there are constitutional provisions that must be followed. And the question is, has that provision been followed? Yes, the provisions have been followed. Is the speaker still a speaker? No, the answer is a clear no. He's no longer a speaker. So let's leave sentiment aside. For me, as a lawyer,
so quickly, So quickly, let me ask you. I'm looking at all of the precedents in law about impeachment. Is it the case of Inokoju and others, the case of Achuba, the case of Phyllis Shoaibu, the case of Ladoja? There are litany of cases, and the law has laid out the procedures, and in fact, the ouster clause about how impeachment could be carried out. Allowing lawmakers to be able to take such decisions.
This is not an impeachment. This is a removal. This is a remover of speaker. If you're talking about impeaching a governor, a deputy governor, a vice president, or a president, that's impeachment. Impeachment procedures is spelled out for the governor or deputy governor, is spelled out in section 188. From subsection 1 to subsection 9, and subsection 10 now ousts the jurisdiction of the court to look into it. But the Supreme Court, in its wisdom, said no, that you cannot invoke the provisions of subsection 10 without complying with subsection 1 to 9 of section 188. But in the case of a speaker, there are no procedure. It is by resolution. And so, the precedent, we saw how the Chuba Okadigbo, Salisu Buhari, and co. were removed as Speaker, Senate President by resolution. And the law says resolution. Not that when there is allegation, you investigate, you give him...
Mr. Oshoma, legally speaking, under the law, the fate of Obasa is sealed, removed. Is a forgone matter. He's no more the speaker, except some other extra political issues happen. Now, let's finalize or let's conclude this conversation. And this is, in me trying to find out, a lot of what we see out there is not what really happens, politically speaking. So, I may be wrong, but my sources within the party in Lagos and at the national level, and this is what I'm able to sift out. I understand that the leader of the party, who is also the president, was not given the chance to understand that the man was going to be removed.
I do not know.
He was removed, and just a moment, that it was politically speaking now, and there's a division within the Governor's Advisory Council in Lagos. Some of them are saying that they do not support Obasa's removal. Some are saying they support it. Now, there are allegations of finding out who exactly caused the removal. Is it the governor? Is it unilaterally by the lawmakers? Who is the leader of the party in Lagos who did it without the notice of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, who is the leader of the party in the state? This is the political conversation in the state. But in all of this, there are conversations as to whether or not Obasa can be reinstalled as the speaker. There are those who are already saying that it could happen. What is the fate of Obasa? And politically speaking, you know Nigeria, nothing can surprise us any longer.
Yes.
What do you think are the chances or the options left to Obasa?
Shehu, you remember, for me, I do not know what happens at their political level I'm looking at the law strictly. I do not know what happens, whether anybody informed the president or whether nobody informed the president. But we know the way politics is played here, certainly there must be some undercurrent. And apart from Lagos, most states in Nigeria, we shouldn't shy away from the fact that a lot of people hold political office at the behest of the governor or the political leader, even at the national level. You cannot become a Senate president without the approval of Mr. President or the Speaker. So they sit down, they agree on this decision, they take decisions and share portfolios. So it is the same thing that happens at the various states level. But because you have the president who is like the leader at the state, that's why people would say, oh, he's either is aware or he's not aware. I've also listened to Honorable Chief Fuadoki on your program, and he mentioned on this same program that meetings were held, and the president also was inundated with some of these meetings, and at the end of the day, before these decisions were taken, these are statements credited to some of the party chieftains on your program. So for that, I might not be aware of what transpires in their internal arrangement. But in as far as the law is concerned, we saw what happened in Calabar once. A speaker was removed and the governor was not, some members removed the speaker. The governor was not in agreement with what had happened. Eventually they found a political solution to it. In this case, in as far as the law is concerned, the speaker had been removed in Lagos State. Yes, whether he can come back, yes, they are all members, they are all colleagues. They can bring him back by another resolution. But saying that he remains a speaker after that resolution passed on the floor of the House, that is standing the law, Section 92 of our Constitution, on its head. They can bring him back the same way they elected him by virtue of Section 92, subsection 1. They can decide to bring him back. But as we speak today, legally speaking, he's no longer the Speaker of Lagos State House of Assembly. And I'm stating that categorically.
Liborous Oshoma, thank you so much. He's a lawyer and a political analyst who is speaking with us live from our Lagos studio. Thank you so much indeed. We're hoping that this drama, as we see always in politics, will unfold, but also not violently.